What's up, guys? It's your boy Summerstar123 here, and welcome back to another Black Ops 6 video. Today, we're going to be talking about the biggest topic that's kind of going on right now inside the Call of Duty community, and that is the Visual Recoil change. Now, in the most recent update, they actually changed and modified how Visual Recoil kind of works on Black Ops 6 weapons, kind of removing and reducing weapon idle sway, gun bob, and gun kick whenever you're using it inside of Black Ops 6. Now, the basis of what Visual Recoil is, it's essentially just a more realistic take on what recoil is, because in real life, if you were to shoot a gun, the gun would visually just jump up out of your hand in a weird way, well, unpredictable and weird way, so it essentially can get in the way of where you're actually aiming at. So while I'm aiming down sight and looking at this target, my gun could be all the way up here, but in reality, all my bullets are still hidden right here. But because of how the Visual Recoil looks, it's unappealing and definitely can get in the way of tracking and trying to keep your eye on the target for a long period of time. But without the Visual Recoil, now guns are a lot more manageable. But in reality, the recoil for the gun is exactly the same, even without the Visual Recoil. So the gun still moves in the same exact way as it would with the Visual Recoil, but now it's not as disruptive while you're trying to aim down sight and shoot at a target. Now, if you go over to Warzone, you can try it out with the Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 guns, because they still actually have Visual Recoil on them. They didn't get the buff that the Black Ops 6 weapons received. But basically, while you're aiming down sight and shooting this target, it's kind of hard to keep track of where the actual middle dot, like the center point of where you're actually shooting at, is actually going, because the iron sight is just jumping all over the place. Even with a scope, it's kind of hard to keep track of where you're actually hitting the target, because the gun isn't really aligning for where you're actually shooting at. But was to bring up like the little recoil wall. The recoil pattern of the M4 isn't that hard to control. Realistically, all you have to do is just pull in the opposite direction that the recoil is actually going in. But because of how the Visual Recoil looks, it just doesn't feel like you're actually controlling the gun at all. If they were to remove the Visual Recoil on this M4, it'll perform more similar to like the M4 that's over in Modern Warfare 2019 in comparison to the M4 that's from Modern Warfare 2. Now, don't get it twisted though. Just because the Visual Recoil has been toned down significantly, recoil does still exist on various different weapons. Like this AK, it's still kind of hard to control at times. Sometimes it can jump over the place because of how just the recoil pattern of the gun naturally is. So don't get it wrong and think that because they toned it down, there is no recoil for Black Ops 6 weapons. You can still have recoil. It's all about whether or not you can actually control the pattern of it. Now, later I'll get into how the public opinion on the removal of Visual Recoil kind of is going on right now on Twitter. But if you are new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new here. We drop awesome content on this channel. I may not be on the same level as some of the more popular COD content creators, but I do appreciate those that have stuck around for these years and whatnot of me posting these videos, whether or not they're just ranting videos or just actual like class setup videos or things of that nature. So much appreciated to those that have been around for a while now. Love y'all. And yeah, let's go and get into today's awesome gameplay. Now, right now online, there's like a argument kind of going on about whether or not Visual Recoil should have been taken out of the game, because the concept of it isn't terrible. It gives a more realistic approach on what recoil should be and should feel like inside of a game. But the issue of it is the fact that it's a realistic approach. Yes, I just killed myself, don't worry about it. But yes, it is a more realistic approach on how the recoil should be like. And ultimately, it's not a terrible thing. It's not an invited thing for a game. Like, I'll much rather play a shooter if I can actually control the recoil in comparison to an uncontrollable recoil that just doesn't make as much sense in a virtual setting. This guy's just feeding me headshots. Yeah, it's more or less an artificial change to how the recoil works inside of the game. And honestly, it's not necessary whatsoever for the longevity of a shooter. Like, if this was a game like Battlefield or whatnot, I would be okay with a bit of visual recoil because it's a more realistic approach on what a FPS should be. But just because it's a realistic approach doesn't mean it's a good approach. Oh my god, it's just smoke, melee, shotguns. My god. It's the only thing I hate about these face-off maps. It's just the same type of players. It's just the same type of players over and over, and I just wish it wasn't sometimes. Haha, you're right into it. And apparently online, like some CDL pros were saying, well, one of them in particular was saying that it sucks that they had to remove the visual recoil, and that now it's just the skill gap is gone for like shooting the guns and whatnot. But realistically, it's not that big of an issue because like past COD games, visual recoil wasn't that big of a deal until post Modern Warfare 2019 when they started to slowly implement it into different games. And then another thing I've been seeing on Twitter is the fact that they're kind of blaming the console players for saying that they want visual recoil, but like as a console player myself, currently playing on the PS5, I've always played on the PlayStation for pretty much every single COD game. I do not agree with the statement that visual recoil should be in the game. I wholeheartedly believe it should be taken out. It's not that great of a concept or feature for a arcade shooter like Call of Duty. Funny how all the times whenever they're talking about console players wanting this or that, they always go right back to the whole concept of whatchamacallit, they always go back to the concept of aim assist always carrying us console players. And it's not as true as you guys believe it is, because truthfully speaking, as a console player, I don't even notice whenever visual recoil is kicking in. Not visual recoil, when aim assist is actually kicking in whatsoever. It just happens. And then I'm just able to actually hit shots every now and then. Aim assist isn't as broken as you guys believe it to be. Because truthfully speaking, most console players don't even know how to actually use it. Oh my god, it's just people camping around corners. Nobody's actually playing. There's no way he actually hit that shot though. I did terrible that game. You know, this whole visual recoil situation just sums up the fact that Call of Duty players don't know what they want. Whether or not they want zero recoil, or whether or not they want the recoil to feel more challenging or more rewarding. It's just nobody knows what they want, and the opinions on Call of Duty and all the various different features and changes and whatnot that the game makes is just, it's all over the place. One moment players want this, next moment they want that, next moment whenever they get what they want, they hate it. Like, you can't win with any Call of Duty player apparently, because no matter what you give them, they're always going to either hate it or they're going to love it too much and just argue with other people about whether or not they should like or hate it. Like, honestly, I just wish Call of Duty players, at least, I don't know, just stop complaining about everything. Accept what we have every now and then. Because not all the time is it like everything we get bad. And also, I need the keyboard and mouse players to stop blaming console players for every little issue or any argument whatsoever. Like, we're not always against each other. I guarantee that much. Also, why do people that already have Dark Matter still play multiplayer? There's nothing to gain out of it, especially in public matches. There's nothing to gain out of playing still. What's your rank play CDL Dark Matter skin? Like, you don't get nothing. You're not making any content. There's no content going on right now. Just go play zombies. Go grind out the Warzone game. I'll do something else. Stop ruining multiplayer lobbies just because you're done. I know you're not gaining any enjoyment out of playing multiplayer right now. There's just no way. On other news, though, we do have the next major update next week, so we should be seeing a new 50 cal sniper rifle. I'm highly excited for that. I don't know if I'm gonna cover that in multiplayer or instead of Warzone. I want to cover it regardless, but I'm trying to get back into consistently posting videos because I just haven't been as consistent as of late because I've been just doing too many things or having so many things happen that prevented me from actually being able to drop a video whenever I want to. But now that I'm kind of slowly getting everything back in order, it's not as big of an issue to drop a video here and there, regardless of the topic or if I even have a topic. I could just be yapping like I am right now, and I'll probably make a video.
Sniper, take cover.
Also, if you're wondering how it's going, the Warzone camo grind is going pretty decently. The only issue right now is just trying to complete all the special camos for the various different weapons, and then finishing out some of the eliminations for some of the guns that have the more annoying time of having to play with. Like snipers, there's just such a pain in the butt to have to use inside of Warzone. Like you get 100 kills with, like they're good guns, don't get me wrong, it's just 100 kills with them just takes a while.
Requesting CUAV above.
I've had a chance to actually beat the Easter egg for CDL. I'm still trying to get Justin to figure out some of the other steps on his own so that way I don't have to walk him through everything. This is a key indicator of what no visual recoil does for a good gun. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the removal of visual recoil on Black Ops 6 weapons. Personally, I would like that to also take effect for Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 weapons. I'm kind of sick and tired of them not being able to kind of compete in a certain way against Black Ops 6 weapons. I don't care if they're not stronger than them, but I at least want them to feel similar in nature whenever I'm firing them. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. As always, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to me here. Some awesome content channel nearly every single day. And yeah, until next time.